Okay, so I'm at this museum, and honestly, it's hard to tell whether they are collectors or hoarders at this point, because this is just like a fraction of the collection, and they deserve so much more space to be seen better than that. But it is what it is, and it reminds me of the time that we went to the museum, the other one, because I'm quite a bit away from home right now, spending the weekend finally away. And as for this little car, you see the year is 1897, and the maximum speed was 15 kilometers, and every couple kilometers they had to stop it and re-oil, I guess, the engine, whatever you call that. They also have a couple of races, and again, this is just a fraction, and plenty of Ford, the first Ford and all its versions. So we go into one which is, I think, the most interesting, which is Ford Coupe. Just a second. So that's the Ford. Again, I'm sorry for the lighting, not my fault, but as I said, to tell the difference between a collector and a hoarder is really pretty much difficult in this case. There's so many of those cars, and if they have fewer, but if they were better exposed, then, but anyway, so that's the car, and I'll show a few more. Now, this little baby is Fiat 500, and it's not in mint, my favorite color of this car, but it's so cool. And this one is Peugeot. Again, I wish I could see the whole of it, but I can only see such a part of it. And this one is a Polish car. It's probably repainted. Like, I doubt they had this color, anyway, it looks repainted when you look up close. And its name is Sirena. I think this one is interesting too, because it doesn't really need door. I mean, it has some, but you could just jump over anyway. And these cars were real popular still when I was a kid, and not when I was a teenager, but until then, until I was 10 maybe or so. And those are Fiats, but they were on a license from Italy. So there you go. And I'll show you a newer version of it. Okay, something that was originally Polish at that point and had a Polish name. So that's like a grandchild, I think, of it, or a child, because yeah, it's hard for me to tell because I don't know those cars too well, but yeah. And this one is a BMW. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. I think it's in horrible shape, but I wonder how old it is. Definitely some 1920s. I think in this room they have some more expensive cars because they have them indoors and they stack on top of each other. Again, really cluttered. Out of the more interesting ones, there are some BMWs as well. That will be one Citroën. A lot of people poke fun at BMW, the newer ones, about the grills, and check this. Citroën wanted to make sure that they are recognizable, I think. Plenty of cars, a Mini over there. This one looks, I think it's Trabant, the old German car. And this is a Porsche, like a racing car. And this little baby car, apparently it's written that it's not a toy. Yeah, so it actually has an engine, an actual engine. I don't know how big. I think this one is the most precious of all because, again, it's a BMW Isetta. It's a tiny baby car. And I once watched a YouTube video of a guy who had trouble driving uphill in this car. Yeah, so a lot of people complain that Fiat Multipla was super ugly, and this is its granddad of the newest one, I guess. Yeah, it has six seats in it, and is as long as my 4-seater car. There's some Jaguar. Yeah, again, indoors. There are a couple of Volvos and some Lancia in here, but I think what is really worth showing as the last one is this Peugeot. So you see the sign. And actually one of our governors, the communist governors, he drove this. I mean, he was driven in this one. And if you see The windscreen is broken, but it's 6 centimeters thick, and the side shields as well. So you'll see that. Yeah. He was such a bad guy that no wonder he was scared somebody would want to shoot him. Yeah, I told you they had more horses, and as I say, it's kind of cool that I'm here, but I wish it wasn't so overcrowded. I think it should be more like quality over quantity. Like, I appreciate the effort and so on, but thinking that so much money was spent on it, and yet these cars just deserve a lot more space, and yeah. Yeah, the very, very last one. This is Fiat Punto. Actually, my friend from college, she drove one. It belonged to her parents. I bet they don't have it anymore, but people still drive it. And for some time, I thought it's just, some of the owner's car or something. Maybe, I don't know. No, it's part of the exhibition. And it makes me feel old. Now, I promise that will be the last one, but I just, can't help it. Very often, the windows are open and you can just look inside, and admire it. It's really cool. And there's one more. This is a Mercedes, and it's pistachio color inside. And you see there are some tables up front. So, yeah. It's too dark now. So, yeah, as you see, plenty of cars. This is again just a fraction. I wish they just had more space. I'm repeating myself, but really they deserve space and some nicer spots, and like the plates, I wish they weren't just printed, but they had like some stands for the plates with descriptions. Not all of the cars are described, not all of the cars are visible. You see behind this row even there are some more cars, like including one old Skoda, slightly older than one of my high school friends' boyfriend had. So yeah, again, that makes me feel old. Some American pink thing. Okay, I promised the very last one. It's Fiat, but it was produced in Poland. Yeah. So we're finishing with the, I think the oldest one that they have.